Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. How's everybody doing today? We welcome all of our viewers watching all across the United States, Canada, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and everywhere you can think of on the globe. It's so cool to have all of you here. Thanks for all your love and support of our entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series, where we're bringing back that lost art of conversation with incredible guests who come in from all different backgrounds, celebrity friends that pop on from Hollywood, television and film, stage, music, Broadway, inspiration, comedy, sports, you name it. And it's been really, really cool as we continue to grow and connect with our international audience, our lovely viewers. Hey, gang, if you would like to chat while the show is on, you can chat in our exclusive JMS Lovely chat room. It's a chat room we have established. When you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV, that's where we house all the episodes of our series. You can see hundreds and hundreds of episodes with incredible guests from literally all around the world who stopped by JMS to say hello, tell us about some of the cool things that they've done, things they're working on, their passions, and we always have a lot of laughs as well. And we're really excited because we've got a really cool guest who's joining us from Los Angeles, California. He is really on the upswing with his career. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's a singer. He's a songwriter extraordinaire. He's been doing it for a while now, and he's a rising star. He hails originally from Europe, from Switzerland. And just a couple of years ago, he packed his bags and he said, I want to head to America. And I want to, plant my roots there, and I want to make things happen. And ever since he did that, things have just been on fire for him all over social media, as well as, he's put out a ton of music as well. We're talking about Julian Popoff, known professionally as Popoff. So if you Google Popoff and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff come up, Popoff Worldwide. Matter of fact, the website is popoffworldwide.com. And Julian's just really on fire. He's been doing so much. And I want to tell you just a little bit about his incredible background. Again, he came to the States and he just said, I want to take it on. And he has been doing that. European raised, Los Angeles-based Popoff, rising pop rock artist, singer, multi-instrumentalist, producer, and songwriter, talented musician. He's poised to make waves in the scene of music with his emotion-evoking sound and his era-defining style. It's really incredible because he really hits upon a lot of different kinds of styles, which I think is really cool. Through his emotion-filled vocal performances, Popoff radiates raw emotion through ear-gracing instrumentation, which, again, he's a multi-instrumentalist himself, and it all paints this blank canvas. Inspired by his life experiences and emotions, the artist strives to push the envelope with his sound to make a dynamic style that encapsulates new era pop and rock. Taking some of those elements of, paying heed to the traditional pop and rock that everybody's grown up with, everybody knows, but then taking it to another level, taking it to next level, which I think is really, really cool. And popping in, pun intended, Popoff, popping in some cool elements of today with his music. Again, he's got a lot of music out there. You can go to the website, Popoff Worldwide, to hear it all. He's got singles, he's got the EP, he's working on more new music as well. And again, he hails from Switzerland, but he's made LA his home. And he is joining us here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show right now. We're going to chat about cool things he's working on and what it was like to, pack up and leave home and hearth and in Europe and say, hey, I'm going to go to another country and do what I can. And that's what he's been doing. So join me, gang. If you want to comment again during the show, feel free to do it in the JMS Lovely chat room. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And when you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up, all the episodes, and click that notification bell. Yeah, there's a little bell icon you see there. Click that so you never miss any of the incredible episodes we have. We say hello to the JMS Lovely family, all the viewers watching around the world. And again, join me in welcoming Julian Popoff to the show for the first time here on the Jim Masters Show. Hey, Julian,
What's
welcome to
good,
the show,
Jim?
my friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I love
Sick.
the setup. I like the lighting. I like the guitar. It's really cool. You're in LA right now, right?
Yeah, that's my home studio. I'm in my studio.
You're in the home studio there. You
Yeah.
know, this is really a cool story because you decided to pack up bag. I mean, Switzerland's a beautiful country. It's a
Well,
great
yeah, it
place. I
is.
mean,
It's super nice.
yeah, it's just fantastic. You know, Roger Federer. You know,
Yeah.
you got a lot of cool things, great cheese,
He
chocolate,
said
all kinds
Roger
of cool
Federer.
stuff. But you knew that you wanted to come to America, and you picked LA and planted your roots there. What was that like? You know, not everybody has the gumption or even is fearless enough to be able to say, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go take a shot and I'm going to do what I can. What was that like for you? What inspired you to do that?
Yeah, good question. The inspiration really, I can't really describe or explain why I moved here. It was like always a dream of mine to just come to America. I guess because growing up, we're like exposed to a lot of pop culture, and
Yeah.
pop culture is ultimately America defines pop culture.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of UK in there too, but mainly like everything we've seen on TV and on like MTV especially, and like all the music and all the movies and everything. It's always America. And also growing up in Switzerland, I went to the movies a lot. It's everything's subtitled. Not like unlike here, that everything's subtitled like English and French. The movies play in original language, so they're not translated.
Yeah.
So I guess like that, including everything I used to listen to and the music and just how the world moves, it just made me realize like I want to move to America.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. I mean, growing up in Switzerland, what were some of the sounds that you were listening to? Who were some of the artists and the groups and bands that you liked, whether they were European or American? What did you listen to growing up? What really, turned it on for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I listen to lots of music. I think I grew up listening to classical music. I like
Really? Yeah.
Brahms.
Wow. Yeah.
Brahms is one of my favorite composers.
Did your folks have
Um,
that on in the house too? Did they play that a lot?
not necessarily. I think I discovered classical music because I started classical guitar when I was 5 years old, and I got exposed to a lot of music after. But that's not the main thing. Yeah, like that's just music my dad listened to as well, and my stepdad. He used to
Yeah.
listen to classic rock like Asia, Dire
Yeah.
Straits, um, Huey Louie, and the
Mm,
News. That was sort of kind of like the introduction. I mean, of course, Pink Floyd. Like that was
yeah.
sort of kind of introduced me into more music, and I was like very intrigued. And what then, like later on in life, I discovered. I mean, there's so much to talk about. I mean, I
Yeah.
love French house, which
Oh
is
yeah.
totally something different.
Right.
French house, like Daft Punk, Justice, all the Ed Banger records. Paris, met the guys, hung out with them.
Did you really? How
Yeah,
cool was that, huh?
it was a coincidence because, like, of course, Paris. I mean, Switzerland is right next to France, and it ain't that far away. It's basically like California is bigger than both of them together, something
Right,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do run into people, and I met the manager in Zurich. There was some event I forgot, and yeah, I was like, I was a fanboy at the time, like crazy. So that
Yeah.
was amazing, and um, I do listen to. I did listen to Linkin Park, Green Day, Blink 182, which is more like what transpired, like my whole artistry right now. That I'm like the music I'm making right now is coming from a place that I was like really looking up to those guys, and wanting to, of course, make my own music. And I used to play that music too when I was like 13, 14, 15. I have two different bands. We toured Europe back in the days, and then of course you grow up you, I discovered producing and everything. But before I was just playing guitar. It was just like
Yeah.
singing, playing guitar, having fun, and in between I learned the whole logistics of
The
music.
whole bit of it, putting the music together, the
Yeah,
producing, the business side, the marketing. That's a whole, that's what they
yeah,
call it, show business, because there's a whole business side to it, right?
yeah. I mean, there's a business side to everything,
Yeah.
and I did discover that for music as well. Um, but I mean, I have only really great experiences. Like since I discovered producing, it was not the camera's on me. It was a blessing. Like I learned lots of it on YouTube. I did when I started. I listened videos hours at a time, and eventually, I mean, I went to college. I have a degree in sound arts and music and media arts, uh, bachelor's degree. So I mean, I learned most of it on the internet, I would say, but I think I have to give my school some credit as well.
Yeah. The school helped, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
they actually do.
Sort of lay down some of that groundwork for you as well. So, was the guitar the very first instrument that you picked up, as a kid or as a teenager, or was there another instrument before? Because sometimes people say, they're an incredible pianist or drummer or guitarist, but they'll say, "Oh, well, my first instrument was the flute or the violin or something else," and then they went off to what they're
That's
doing
funny.
now. How about you? Was the guitar first?
It's funny you say that. I mean, no, uh, yes, the guitar was my first instrument, but it's funny. It's like my sister wanted to play piano, but they only gave her a flute.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was kind of blessed, I guess. I don't remember wanting to start playing an instrument. Um, that story never really get because like I just know growing up, all I remember is playing an instrument, but I think what I've been told is that I think it was like some sort of event. I was 4 years old. One of my uncles or someone played the guitar, and I guess I was like really into it. So the next whatever week or whatever it was, they got me a children's guitar, and I was lucky. My uncle was a guitar teacher,
Oh,
classical.
cool. Wow.
So
Yeah.
the like ever since I was so I don't really know why or how I started, but I started with guitar.
When did the singing start to come in too? When did you say, "Hey,
Mm.
I like to play the guitar, I like the instrumentation, but I want to add in and lend my voice to it." When did that start for you?
Singing started later. I think it's between when I was like maybe 12. Actually, I do remember there was a video of me playing with my band when I was, let me see, it was 2009. Yeah. Okay, the math isn't mathing. But I think it was like 13 or something.
Yeah.
Could that be? Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so around that time. Um, but it's funny.
Seems like yesterday, doesn't it?
It does.
It goes fast.
It
It
really
goes
does. It's
fast.
crazy. I mean, even 2016 seemed like 2 days ago.
When did you actually officially decide, and when did you tell your family in Switzerland, "Hey gang, I'm packing up. I'm going across the big
Hmm.
pond. I'm going to America." When did you decide to do that, and what was the reaction from the family? Were they excited? Were they nervous? Did they try to, keep you in Europe?
Well, I did announce it very often. I told him while I was studying. I did sort of kind of have had to finish school because I guess it's like a Swiss thing that school is very important and you cannot drop out or like it's a huge deal.
Yeah, the
But
neighbors will talk.
I mean, I was still grateful. It was nice. So I told everyone all the time I'm moving after I'm done, and
Yeah,
some would believe it, some would think I'm just a
it's like, yeah,
dreamer, just
dream
like
on, right? Yeah,
talking about it, and
like
the
Aerosmith, dream on.
yeah, dream on.
Yeah,
So I was the week after I graduated, like 7 days, I I
Wow.
just I moved, and then I stayed for over 2 years before I came back again,
Wow.
visiting. I mean, it was like right before Corona too.
Right before everything started. So did you already have a place set up in Los Angeles, or when you came, did you have to scramble and find an apartment? Or because I thought in my research you had an opportunity where you were living in this like palatial mansion for a while,
Well,
which isn't too shabby.
it was all like a little I think it's manifestation. I give lots of credit to manifestation,
Oh
lots and
yeah,
lots of credit, like
what you
entirely
manifest
like this,
comes
even
your
like
way.
this week, last week, the weeks coming. I'm manifesting a lot of things, and one of them was that when I go to LA, that I'm not gonna have any problem finding a place to stay and like having making friends and know like getting to know people. So when I planned my coming to America, I did realize that I might have to visit once or twice before I actually move, just to get us like a common sense of like how is it like where's I didn't even know. I looked at a map before I even first came. I was like looking at a map. I was like, I have no idea what parts of LA is what. Looking, I was like, Long Beach. What's
Yeah,
Long Beach? Like
yeah,
I thought probably downtown would be the spot or something, but like of
right.
course I, I had no idea, so I had to visit.
Malibu, Santa Monica, beautiful areas. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know, so I had to find out myself. I came here, I took a flight. I was like on a vacation thing. First day touchdown, like, I went to Venice and I stayed with a good friend of mine now. Back then I didn't know him, and let me stay in Venice Beach, like right on the beach. It was really nice for a couple months, and developed a great friendship. And I ended up meeting lots of new people, and then ended up meeting another person, and I was able to stay with them. And I guess all in all, I didn't have to pay rent in LA for over a year or more, even when I came here. First, I just knew enough people already, and it was really nice too. I don't think
That's you're a
everyone could like.
good networker.
It was like really nice. It wasn't like a shabby little apartment. It was like huge. And I even told my friend from Switzerland that was visiting at the time, like, come. It was like so nice. So thank you, Todd.
Is Yeah, isn't that cool? So you were already networking, making friends, making connections as soon as you got there, which is the key to it all, because you can easily move to a foreign country or even living, growing up here to another city. If you don't make the connections and you don't get that networking going, then those opportunities don't come, and you're sort of just looking out the window saying, "Okay, I'm here," but nobody knows I'm here. So you really started networking. And how did you once you
That's
came?
important. Yeah.
Is the networking really is. How did you That's what all these industries we're in, that's really what it's all about. Even with our college degrees and everything, it's a lot of the networking and working with this person and working with them again and producing things. For you, how did you get that going? Like, you started to make the musical connections and finding like studios, or did you just create a studio in your apartment? How'd you get the musical side going once you got yourself physically planted in California?
Um, the first encounter was some dude I met in an Uber. He was my
Really?
Uber
That sometimes
driver.
that happens too. Buses, planes, subways, Ubers.
Yeah. So I met this rapper, Catalyst Bars, and an Uber driver. In an Uber, he was my driver. So um, I guess we played each other some music and we like what we heard, and then I went to their studio that was in Silver Lake at the time, and I did end up producing an EP for them. There was like a group of artists. That was sort of like the first foot in the door, sort of
Yeah.
um getting to know people like that are in a circle, so getting introduced to sort of kind of almost everyone in the circle, and through that it was like like a bacteria spreads like wildfire. It's like the virus we're all so afraid of, which is like a good thing in a sense. Like the way they reproduce, that's
Right.
the same way that we are constantly making new contacts in a network.
Right.
Like words are very powerful and it spreads. So
Yes.
I
Right.
don't think I've ever really had much trouble making new contacts.
It's really cool what you said about the manifestation, because that there is a lot of truth to that. We've had some people come on the show who were like specialize in showing people how to manifest the things that they want in their lives. And it's so true that, like, if you put out negative energy, negative tends to come back. But if you put out the
Yeah.
positive energy, that tends to, and if you surround yourself with positive as opposed to toxic people, toxic things, you find that the positivity really reigns and takes over, which is such a cool thing to realize. Sometimes it takes people years to realize that, but you're in tune with that stuff early on, which is really cool,
Yeah.
huh?
Um Let me see. I think my friend Avi, Troy, his name's Troy. I think he put me on. I would say he put me on that map.
Yeah.
Um, I got this. I mean, so let me see. I got 33 tatted on my underarm. I mean, see, it's like this is not a big tattoo. It's just like uh, little tattoo. 33. At the time he was like looking at numerology, and I was like really intrigued. I was like, that's cool. Turns out I was a life path 33. Found that out like 2 years later. That was just another confirmation. I believe in manifestation. Um, I wrote my high school, what is it called? The paper that you write at the end. What's it
Yeah.
called? I wrote
That's
it about
like a
hypnosis.
thesis or
Yeah,
essay. Yeah.
thesis. Yeah, yeah,
Thesis. Yeah.
yeah. I wrote that about healing through hypnosis.
Really.
Yeah. I
That's
guess
cool.
I guess there's some sort of energy within me that knows. I would say. I mean, I'm
You
letting it just happen.
Well, yeah, and your voice is your music. You're using, I think, your music as a way to speak that truth and speak that out, which I think is really cool because music, it has a lot of healing properties. As much as it, sounds cool and can be rhythmic and gets everybody dancing and jumping, and it has a lot of underpinnings that can really be very soulful and really connect with people's hearts,
Yeah.
minds, and
It's
souls.
a it's the door to our hearts and souls.
So
Exactly.
you're aware of that already. And so with your music, I mean, I know it's really hard to describe specifically, and I know you don't like to be, which is a good way to be, necessarily boxed in or labeled to genres, though I know it's been sort of loosely described as new era pop and rock. You're a
Yeah.
rising pop rock artist, but talk about that. Tell us how you define what that is, because that's specific to what you're offering and what you're presenting and how you want it to be received by all of
Yeah.
us.
Well, basically, it's lots of people. If you ask them the question in an interview, they're always like, "Yeah, it's hard to describe." That's just what people say. But I don't think it's that hard. Like right now, I'm making pop rock music, influenced by what I listened to in my childhood. But I'm not trying to copy nothing. I've never tried to make copy music. Like The Weeknd was a big influence of mine as well. But I didn't try making music like him. An influence to me is something that you really like and you take it in. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like you drink some water, but you're not gonna piss water. you know. What I'm saying, I make
Yeah,
pop right now. I make pop rock. Like a year ago, it was more R&B influenced as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
and of course, the dance music influence I had. But I would say I make my own music with the influence I have. Um, Creating what I perceive as the best music I want to make, and I want to listen to myself. I love listening to my music. I understand that some people are like I am also really humble, but I love the music I'm making right now, and it's
Yeah.
the best one I've done so far. I'm really proud of it.
What do you think it is about it right now where you're in that, like you're saying, you're in that real musical, artistic expression sweet spot? Is it because of the years you've put in, the experiences you've had, learning some new things, all coming together? What is it about now that has you in this real sweet spot?
I think it's a change of times. You know, I was actually reflecting on this. How did this happen? Like, how does it come to that? And I think music comes in waves. So, um, are the most influential artists they wanna make the music they loved listening to as a child.
Yeah,
That's literally how it comes. Like, I was realizing that the R&B wave happened like 20 years after they listened to soul, disco,
that's right.
literally. And right now we're about the time where all the early 2000s rock, late 90s are all the zero kids. I don't know how generation, whatever. I have no idea. Never gotten through that whole thing.
Millennials and Generation
Yeah,
X and on Y
yeah,
and all
yeah.
the
But it's like basically music we used to love to listen to, we want to create as well. And right now for me, it's a sweet spot because it's times are changing and people starting to appreciate their favorite music again that they were like probably 10 to 15, 16 years old at the time. And we're recreating the new era of um,
so
influencing the children right now that are going to do the
right,
same thing again
right.
20, 25, 30 years from now.
That's so
In
true.
between, the hip hop is gonna come back earlier as well, probably like 10, 15 years, a huge hip hop wave again. I
Yeah.
think it really works in that way. It's like it's a copy and paste with approximately 20 years in between, and this like continual
That's what
little
happens, yeah, and
yeah,
music, fashion, all of it is sort of retro becomes popular again, and then people sort of tweak it and modernize it in certain
yeah,
ways, and you can even hear in some music and in, like, TV commercials, you'll hear some beats and things that are from songs that are from the '70s, disco
yeah,
songs and rock songs that are used actually in commercials today, and somebody will hear that, and they're like, oh, that's a cool beat. That's a cool new beat. And you'll say like, actually, no, that came out in 1975.
yeah,
That was ABBA from Sweden. And, but it's really cool. You're really on point with it because I had always heard that the music that you heard when you were like between the ages of 12 and like 18, as you get older, when you hear those songs pop on the radio or whatever, uh, all of a sudden it takes you back, and that's the music that you gravitate to
yeah,
first. You might like all this other stuff later on, but it's that stuff you heard in those pivotal teen years that was on the radio or whatever, uh, that really grabs people first. And you're sort of already ahead of the game, knowing as you're producing this music that they're going to come back to this down the line as well. And
yeah.
it's going to be the music that really speaks to them, what they're hearing
Well,
now and they'll hear again.
I do want to make music that influences people the same way I got influenced during that time. Like my music should speak to people in a way of telling them, "Oh, like this is crazy, and you can do it too."
Right. Right. So sort of like it sounds like there's a lot of inspiration to it. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of you don't always have to take everything at face value. It's good to question things. It's good to look into things, but also
Yeah.
enjoy life while you're doing it. Um,
Well,
you know,
I think coming back again to this little what I think you said 11 to uh,
like 11,
yeah,
12
yeah.
to like 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's so influential because during that time we're starting to become adults and like actually gain consciousness a little more, before it was like sort of kind of survival mode. And during that time you start to develop your hobbies, interests, sexuality, and you get influenced. You're like a open vessel to new stuff and it hits you, and especially music is like the most direct way to communicate. So that's literally what we listen to during that time, is like our favorite stuff ever, and I think it's a great thing.
How many times have you gone to a wedding? We were just at a wedding about a week ago up in Vermont for a cousin, and the music that everybody wanted to hear played by the DJ at the wedding was the music that was when they were like in their teens and
Yeah.
early teens to maybe early 20s. And it was like all these songs. And then all of a sudden everybody came out on the dance floor and everybody was jumping around and having a great time. But it was the retro sounds. And I think it's really cool that it's a new era rock and pop. So it's like you're celebrating and you're paying homage to, paying heed to, honoring all the music in these genres that has been put out already, and taking maybe some elements and flavors
Yeah.
and modernizing it and bringing it up to date to today, which is kind of a cool way to do it, Julian.
Yeah, that's essentially how I'm feeling. Like, I'm super happy to do it. I'm really excited because it's just the music I want to make. It's literally what I used to love to listen to, what I would love for other people to listen to my music. I just want to translate that feeling.
You know, you're in a lucky spot because years ago, it wasn't always that way. A lot of artists, whether they were actors, actresses, singers, songwriters, musicians, especially not so much the songwriters because they could create their music, but the
Mhm.
musicians and the singers sometimes had to follow sort of the molding of a record company or the molding of an image that's created by somebody or an entity other than themselves. So they didn't necessarily always get a chance to constantly play or cover or do what they really wanted to do. They had to do what was just in
Yeah.
then or elements of what other people were doing. You seem to already have this vision. I want to do music that I want to do that speaks to me, and then the
Yeah.
people will follow, which is sort of bucks the system a little bit, but in a really positive way, because that's the way everything has gone in recent years. Artists are doing what really reflects who they are, which makes it authentic and real and unique, which was cool. It's not everything sounds the same mass produced stuff all the time like it always used to be in many
I think
respects.
authenticity is really important. Um, I mean, is the most important. I see lots of stuff happening at the same time though that you talked about. Still, there's on TikTok. There's lots of artists coming up on TikTok that you might want to question their motives or who's behind it. There's a good amount of record labels targeting that market, especially planting sort of like new artists on that platform, which is, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, everyone does what they do. I'm not against anything. Just needs to be creative. Like, I think the most important thing is to be in a creative mind and not a competitive mind. So I think,
That's a cool
you
way to
know,
do it. Yeah, because when
everyone
you're
does what they should do.
right, when you lose the competitive mind, it leaves all that space open to be creative, because a lot of times people are hung on the competitive side, and it tampers down, it sort of dwarfs the opportunity to have the creative side, which is really, it sounds like, you've really got this sort of, as you're sort of doing what you're doing as things are happening, you still seem to have like this game plan, this understanding of what you want. You got a sort of a clear vision. You may tweak it as you go along on your
Yeah.
journey, but it sounds like you're very true to yourself, and you're very committed to what you want to do, how you want to do it, the way you want to do it, and what you hope we all get from it, which is kind of cool. When you Tell us about the you've released a lot of singles. We were looking at the music. There's a lot of stuff. People can go to popoffworldwide.com to see all the singles, all the music, all the great, Spotify, everywhere else you can go
Yeah, I got
to.
everything on there.
He's got everything on there. And of course, Instagram is Popoff Worldwide as well. But there's the website and everything is there. But tell us about that very first single and what that was like to actually get in there, get in the studio, record, produce, and have it come to life. That must have been a really cool feeling for
The
you.
the first time I released something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's yeah, that's a good question. I did produce lots of music before I released it. I always wanted to be ready. I always knew starting to make music that I didn't want to release the music that I'm just starting to make because lots of music is like learning music. There's songs of so many songs, and lots of them are like a lesson. Like you make them realize what was good about it, what was bad about it, and you reflect on it. You do better. You do it again. So it's like any other practice, like practicing an instrument, like doing sports. I think making songs is the same way. You practice, you get better every time. So when I started releasing music, I think I was sort of kind of like on the verge of getting good. I think my first singles that are still there, like all right. I think they're good. But now that I've released quite a bunch of it already, I'm starting to really get a feeling for what is and what isn't, and I'm like really happy releasing the music I'm making right now. Um, and I
Yeah.
do produce. I don't know if lots of people know that I do produce my own music. I write my own music. I play the instruments. I mix it. I master it. I've had some help. I have a good team of drum recording. I have a really amazing drummer in Switzerland and an engineer. They record my drums overseas.
Did they?
Um,
Wow.
yeah, the drummer plays for Elu Vaitier. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. It's like a folk metal super group.
Yeah.
They tour every country. They sing
Yeah.
crazy shows, like huge stadiums. And the dude's like an amazing drummer, and he plays my records as well.
Wow. That's cool, huh?
Yeah,
Phew. So you've got people that you can rely on that can provide some of the backing instrumentation, which
yeah.
is really really awesome.
Well, it's important to have good musicians around you.
Yeah. We picked just a couple of things here. People again can go to the website and all, but how do you come up with like the covers and the whole look? I mean, you got some really cool artwork with your covers.
Thank you, thank you. These I made this one myself.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did make my recent covers myself because I want them all to look the same. I want one continuous image. Um, so this is all my doing as well as the website. I made that one myself as well.
You did that too. Wow.
And the logo, which is not really a logo, it's a font, but it works perfectly.
Right. Yeah.
So little secret there. The handwriting, like the title handwriting is my creative director's handwriting in Switzerland. His name's Adrian. He also look, let me see the camera real quick. This shirt is basically a shirt we made. It's just it wasn't really intended to be like a single shirt, more of a statement sort of shirt. But that's from the Psycho single, basically the handwriting cover, and on the back is my logo. Um, yeah, I would just have one continuous image, and I
Yeah.
supervise everything.
But that's a clean look, like when you have the pop off and then you have the cool look of the graphic on the bottom.
Yeah,
It's a clean, direct look. Like you can change the colors on top and all. And again, there's many more on the website, folks, but these are
yeah.
some cool ones that stood out here. Um, and that's great. I mean, it's a clean, modern look, which I think is nice. You know what I
Um,
mean?
yeah, I mean, every artist has the right to do whatever they want, like,
Yeah,
literally, whatever it is, if it's art, it's painting, it's music, I don't care. An artist they can piss at a wall and call it art.
they do. Yeah, they've
And
done
they
that.
do, yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. So, you should take as much responsibility or as much accountability or as much creativity as you want. If you don't want nothing, then maybe you're that sort of artist. You're like a executive sort of artist. If you wanna do a lot of it yourself, that's sorta kinda what I wanna do. I have my fingers in all sorts of different areas. I'm designing my merch. I'm designing the website. I'm designing the logos. I'm creating the brand. Um, it's a lot of thought making its way through my fingers,
Right.
essentially.
Right.
You only do something if you act on it, else you're just a dreamer.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing when you think about it because you're really doing all aspects of it. So you've got your hands on everything, the music, the creation of the music, the marketing of it, like you say, the look, the image, the branding. That's a lot. How do you have time to do it all and to balance it all while, creating the music too?
Um, yeah.
Late nights, staying up late.
Well, I do go to bed around 5 to 6
Yeah,
AM.
sounds like me.
Um, Sometimes I sleep in, which is another benefit of being an artist. You can choose your own schedule.
Yeah.
You're not confined to like, 9 to 5. I think as long as you want to do something badly, like enough, you can find time. In every day there's 3 times 8 hours. A regular workday is 8 hours, but 24 divided by 3 is 8, so you essentially have 3 blocks of 8. You can sleep 8, and then you have an essential 16 hours to do anything you want. And for me, I think I don't really I have, like, lots of ADHD that I'm sometimes combating with. It's
Do
like my
you?
little
Yeah.
art it's my arch nemesis, trying to m
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
creative people. Yeah, the ADHD or OCD or just different things because that actually adds to the creativity. We're showing the
Yeah,
website too and some of the cool things on the website as well.
yeah. So this is my shop there too. I have a shop for my merch. I just recently upgraded to make a store. I used to just sell them. But coming back, I think yeah, like artists are people that are different than r- others. I mean, everyone is different. Essentially, that statement doesn't really make sense. I guess everyone
Yeah,
is
but
different. No one's
unique.
really the same, but
Yeah,
we tend to influence people more than regular people. And I'm not
right.
saying that's like I'm just saying throughout the years, artists have been influencing, and anyone that's an artist, they should definitely do and take as much time as they want to create. And
Yeah.
if it's at random times, I just find time. I just scatter things. I just do this and do that, and at the end of the day, I find myself having accomplished quite a bit.
Now you've done some collaborations as well, right? Was it Giovanni here and Zeus Stunna?
Yeah.
Tell us about what it's like, working with others and doing collaborations too.
I love to collaborate. I love making music with others. It's a great feeling to have people around you that are creative as well, that might have a different point of view on subjects, on the world, and you can learn lots of by listening and watching others. And I mean, it's just I'm blessed to have friends and fellow musicians and everyone else around the world that supports and wants to create, and I'm always down to create. So, but I'm very selective as well, though. Used to there was a time that I was probably gonna do features with anyone, I guess. Not anyone, but I've become very selective with whom I work, which is a good thing because this means I see my vision better.
Which is really good, right? As you know, as you get those experiences going, you can be more selective about all of it, even the music that you make. Singer, multi-instrumentalist, and songwriter. Tell us about the songwriting, because I think it's
Yeah,
great
that's a
that
good
you
point.
have. Yeah, I think it's really great that you have the songwriting, because these are your songs, this is your creation, this is your body of work. A lot of times when you're interpreting somebody else's, it's their vision, they own it, and also they get the riches from it all.
Yeah.
But when it's your song and you've created it, and then maybe even years later or at any time other people even interpret your song or they
Yeah,
cover your
you
song,
still got the payment.
that's, you got residuals and things of that nature. So how much of your time is focused on the actual songwriting, and what inspires you to create the
Yeah,
music?
that's really good question. I used to be, um, I think for as English goes, I used to be a terrible songwriter, because I didn't really speak the language. Um, so that was my main point throughout the past 3 years is becoming a good English songwriter. I think in German, I was always uh, creating. It's just in my mind, but it's great to become a songwriter. I think it's a blessing to be able to write your own lyrics. I do love collaborating with different songwriters. So I'm not saying, like for example, Molly and Bentley, I wrote with my friend Giovanni, and how the process goes for me. I used to record just melodies on the microphone and interpret what I was saying later, like thinking of, oh, I was saying that, and like I hear this sort of between the lines and write it down. Nowadays, I've come all the way back to just writing on an instrument, playing chords, writing everything down before I even start any production. The song is written. And I want to give a little shout out to Master Writer here. It's masterwriter.com. It's my friend's company. Um, they do amazing. They do amazing work. They have a really good app that's sort of kind of like a notepad,
Oh,
but
wow.
it's very enhanced. You can save different versions. You can save audio. It's made for writers and songwriters. Um, all the little projects you can put it all into one thing, and you have basically a whole dictionary in there too. So if you want to search for words, you don't have to go to different websites. It's all in there. You have you can choose the words. Uh you can sort them by syllables, by close rhymes, by like what is it called? Far rhymes? No, that's not the word.
Mm, mm,
No, like close rhymes and like
yeah.
yeah, my I still need some words in my.
Well, when did you learn English? As a kid?
Oh,
Because
that's
I mean, it's
crazy,
pretty.
dude.
It really, it's good. I
No,
mean, you're
I basically learned like 3 years ago.
just 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, more or less. I had
So can
some
you speak?
lessons
A
in
lot of
school.
people that come from Europe, they have the ability, because again, like you said, the close proximity of all the countries, they can speak and sometimes even sing multiple languages. Have you been able to speak several languages?
Well, I speak German and Swiss German is my mother tongue. I learned English, as I said,
3 years ago,
3
huh?
years ago. I had a little bit of knowledge. I had some English in school, but it was like I came here realizing it was really terrible because I was sitting in the corner thinking like, "Oh, I'm not gonna say nothing." A little bit shy. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's like I had a really bad um really, I was not good at it. So I I listened to other people talk, and I had my friends and everyone. I told everyone, whenever I make a mistake, whenever I pronounce something completely wrong, don't don't ignore it. Like, don't think, oh, this is him. Ha ha ha. Yeah, he's just from
Yeah,
Europe. We'll just take it. I told everyone to immediately tell me when I make a mistake.
right.
I like, else I wouldn't have been comfortable. Like, I know I have I know fr- know people, friends, everyone that people from Europe, from other countries that are here, that have been here for a long time, and they still have an accent. They still make grammatical mistakes and
Mhm.
everything. And I think learning a language, it's like really important to just cut it all out. Just go all in.
Right, exactly
Mhm.
what you've been doing. I love that. I had my eye, I mentioned that before we went on together, that fantastic guitar you have there. Tell us about the room you're in and that beautiful instrument. And do you have a lot of different guitars that you play with?
This is let me see. This is a Fender Tele. I think it's a crazy version of Thin Line. Yeah, a Thin Line. I saw that guitar on an interview. Nile Rodgers was playing that guitar. I mean, not that guitar, but same model, of course. And really, really hit me. It's like 2014, something like that. I looked at it, saw it in an interview. I really thought it was a very pretty guitar, so I had to get it myself. Bought it in
Really
2014, I think
cool.
2015, something like that. And I did have lots of guitars over the years. I had like 13, 14 different guitars.
You have a
Uh,
preference of electric over acoustic, or do you like both?
no, I think both is amazing. I have my Martin's acoustic, um, and I do have my electric guitar. Those are the only two I have left. I have a pink bass.
Do you really?
Yeah, Sound Gear by Ibanez. Look, I mean, I'm just gonna show it real quick.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Real cool stuff. Here it is.
Yeah, I have this one. That one is crazy. It's an original 1975 um first edition Sound Gear by Ibanez. This my uncle gave that to me when I was also around the same time. We used to play with bands. He bought that a long time ago, and no one wanted to buy it at the time because it was pink. And
That
now
is
it's
so
just like it's the
cool.
coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had lots of instruments over the years. I had to sell approximately 90% of my guitars and everything I owned. When I moved, I cleaned it all out. I was I was moving to the US, so I wasn't gonna keep anything in Europe. So I chose my couple favorites. I sold everything else.
You did. Wow.
Hmm.
This is like it's almost like at some point, as your career blossoms, you'll have to write a book about this journey because it's amazing. I sold everything. I left the family in the home country. I went to a foreign land. I picked a big city like Los Angeles. I found friends, an apartment, studio, started making music, and I'm surviving. And here I am. I mean, it's a very cool, inspiring story, almost like telling everybody that has a dream
That
to
is
go after
possible.
it, right? To go
Yeah,
after it. I mean,
yeah.
because a lot of people have these dreams and a lot of people are talented, but the world around them says, you'll never be able to do that. Don't even try it. It's not going to work out, and you just said, I'm doing it, which,
Well,
which is cool.
I think you're not confined to a space. So essentially, when you feel at home, you're just you're with yourself. It's just your body that feels at home. It's not your possessions. It is sort of kind of your environment. Like, you don't really want to feel at home when everything's dirty and you're like not in a good place, but it is pretty easy to find good places around the world. Like, before I came to LA, before I travel, like I used to travel. I used to travel as a teenager. I used to go to foreign countries. I was in South America, Central America. I went to Africa.
That's cool.
I've seen my fair share of countries around the world. The only place I've never been to is Asia, but I've been to lots of countries myself. Just like traveled maybe with one friend or something. I went to South America. I didn't even speak Spanish. I still don't really speak Spanish.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, you can go wherever and people are nice. And so if you have a dream and that dream is that dream sort of kind of works better in a different place, you should go do that if you have the means, you know.
Right. Right.
Some I mean, it's also a financial thing. I think not everyone can just go and travel, but like, I think, I don't know, neither could really, but I just wanted it enough. And
Right.
there's life comes in waves, so if you encounter something, that's not just gonna hit you immediately. You know, the wave is not a flat wall you're running into. It's a smooth ride, and as soon as you think the problem's like too crazy, you're already on the going down again. It's not that hard.
It's so true. Yeah, it is. Life does come in waves, and sometimes it's a tsunami, and sometimes it's just a little ripple. But it's how you react to it and what you do with it that really counts most. You and I were talking before we went on about travel and touring. Is the hope to get out there and to be able to start getting back out on the road? Because the last 2 years have been crazy. Everything's been
Yeah.
upside down for everybody. But is there a hope to get back out there and see the people?
Yeah, it's a big dream of mine to just go back and have concerts finally. I also do want to go tour in Europe. Um, I mean, what they love in Europe is when an artist comes from the US. They just
Hmm.
love that.
Yeah.
And by me going to the US to make music, becoming artists here, becoming established artists, um,
They respect that.
it's essentially the golden ticket to all the shows in Europe, especially where I'm from. They're like eat it out my hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like what they want, and
Right. It is
I'm
true.
looking forward to touring the U.S. especially because I love this country, and also of course Europe because it's just European vibes. It's
Right.
great.
Yeah.
I love performing. I love being on stage. I love connecting with the audience.
Are you working on some things now, some more new music? I mean, you've put out so much already. And are you constantly
Yeah,
putting stuff out and creating stuff? And do you have some cool things coming up too?
yeah. I have new music I'm working on. Um, I've I'm gonna be working on new music for the longest time. I don't know. I can't really put a finger on like when I'm not gonna do it. Maybe when I have multi-platinum crazy singles, but that's maybe after 10, I don't know, 15. Take a
You
little break,
heard it
but
here
like,
first, gang. That was a JMS exclusive, multi-platinum coming down the pike for Popoff.
yeah, like I'm saying, like I'm not gonna stop, and I have lots of songs that are like I lined them up. I started a song and I put the drums on it and everything, the songwriting. It's just they're like, how do you say that? It's like when you put a toast in a toaster oven, take two out, you put two more into the same toaster oven, but the two that are out there are like cooling down a little, getting ready to eat. So it's my songs. While I'm releasing one, I have a bunch of new ones already lined up that are gonna be next.
That is cool, right? So
So
you're right.
it's
You're
all like
releasing one,
planned,
and
yeah.
there's no like space in between. You're constantly producing and creating and getting the
Mm,
music out there, which is
well,
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think there, the space in the between, you can choose that yourself,
Right.
what your frequency is or how often you want to release something.
Yeah.
But I think the creative part is, for me, is just making good music that I really like. And recently I've been blessed, but whoever blessed me, I don't know, the supreme energy or something. I've
Right.
just been making really good music that I really love, and other people, they vibrate with it. How do you say that?
Yeah.
Everyone loves it. I've been showing it to people
Yeah. It
around
resonates
me,
with them. Yeah.
resonates with everyone. I've been getting random compliments on the street, like people like seeing me and they're like, "Oh, you're Popoff." I was in a Ralph's parking lot the other day.
A supermarket on the West
Yeah,
Coast. Yeah.
and
And
some random girl came up to me, "Oh my god, you're Popoff." And I was like, "Oh, hey, yeah,
they're
cool."
like, wait, that's Popoff.
Yeah,
These are cool shots too that we sort of sprinkled in here of you. That's another part is all the different photo shoots and photo sessions, photography, and just some really, creating the whole look and image. It's all part of the whole thing, right? Shooting music videos and everything that
yeah,
goes with it all.
yeah. My next steps are definitely I want to shoot some music videos for my recent songs, since they are,
Yeah.
very specific, like they're very in a way that I want people to hear my music. So I want them to perceive my image the same way. So I'm gonna shoot those music videos for Molly and Bentley and Psycho and my upcoming singles. Um, really, really paint the picture of how I want people to perceive me as an artist.
Yeah.
You can,
Which,
yeah, do a lot visually.
which is really, really cool. This shot's cool. What was this for?
This was on the music video that I did with Giovanni and Zeus Stunna. That was just a still from the
Yeah,
music video.
that's really cool. That's really a
That's
nice
a nice
shot.
one.
Yeah, that's really a nice shot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking lots more pictures and everything.
Yeah,
You gotta
get it.
kind of stay on top of social media.
You mentioned you came over in like 2019, and who knew, like when you were coming over, the crazy stuff that would happen in our world 2019, 2021. So it's been an interesting time, hasn't it? Especially for you coming over to America at a time when the whole world sort of stopped and all this craziness was happening.
Yeah, I've seen it before the pandemic happened, so I sort of kind of know how it is when it's not a virus infected country. So I was like, oh, it was pretty chill. I think
Yeah,
nothing really bothered me. I'm in the studio anyways. Um,
right,
and I
right.
like driving around with less cars on the street.
That,
So
that was a gift.
yeah,
Yes. Now
yeah.
everybody's driving, like they're
Now
angry
now it
and
takes now it takes a million years to get anywhere.
right, exactly. It
But
does.
but I
Yeah.
mean, p- people perceive the pandemic each their own little way. I don't know. So
True.
for some, it
Yeah.
was. I mean, it was not a good thing. I mean, fuck the pandemic. That's what sort of bullshit is that for people to lock us inside our own homes and like take away our freedom and everything. That's totally not what I agree with at all. But you can choose to hate it or you can choose to take your time. There's a blessing, so much time, so much extra time to do things.
Exactly. What did you do during the downtime? Just create music and
Yeah, I
keep
was
keep
sort of kind
going.
of finding myself and creating. I was like meeting other artists and we were at the studio and it was all sort of time felt slower. It's like you got a good little rest there, Right now, again, this year's almost not gonna say almost over because then it'll be over, but it feels really fast. It's already August.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Here
Yeah.
comes September in just a couple of
Yeah,
days. I
September's
know
around the corner.
it is something. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what are some cool things you have coming up in the near future that you're working on?
Well, I'm working on this song with another artist called Indie, Indee, Ponce, Ponce. This is a really good single, great single that we're proud of and releasing pretty soon. Haven't put a release date on, like, yeah, either September, October, or something like that. Really proud of that. I'm also gonna be touring, playing shows. Um, I have found a new drummer, really great guy. Uh, but I'll be playing lots of shows in LA around the area, and eventually wanna later this year start a little tour, different cities and everything. And then, as I said, I told you earlier, when next year do bigger tours and everything.
Which is
So
cool.
upcoming things for me is shooting music videos, um, releasing my new music, and playing more shows.
That's
I've
awesome.
been playing shows this year already. I just want to upgrade the frequency.
Exactly. So, where you are there, is that do you have an actual studio in your place there where you can record there, or do you have to go to another location?
Oh no, I built my own studio.
You
I
did.
have, yeah. I can't really show the difference. This is the camera that way, but essentially this is like my crazy speakers. I have amazing equipment. I'm really blessed to have all this gear, all the instruments. I have a treated room. It's a great space to be in, and I sort of take my studio everywhere. When I move, I just build a new studio, and I brought these speakers from Europe too. I've had them. Adam A77X's. If someone's in the audience that knows
Yeah.
their gear,
Right.
got
Yeah.
really good studio monitors, and I brought them over. Have my own studio, have my own recording equipment. I mean, I've been taught everything about. I'm really good at at
Yeah.
audio production. I'm
Yeah.
really good at this.
Yeah.
I have
That's great.
so
You
this is
picked it
what I
up
do.
quick, and right, you can work with it, which is really awesome. I would imagine the family back home in Switzerland, they probably must be really proud to see what's happening for you here in America.
Yeah, I guess they are.
You would imagine, huh?
Yeah, um, yeah. When it comes to my family, I've always been chill. Um, I
Go do your
am
thing.
just doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
Right. That's cool. That's really, really cool. No meeting Roger Federer yet, huh?
Well, I guess, I mean,
He's
I've
like
seen him.
Switzerland's golden child.
I seen him a bunch of times.
Did
I
you?
mean, uh, Switzerland is not that big of a country.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
really small.
it is.
7 million people total,
Right.
which is half the population of LA.
Right. It's for some perspective, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a small nation, and you sort of kind of know lots of people. Not that I'm saying I know everyone,
Right.
because of course I don't.
But
But
they're
it
cool.
feels closer.
It feels closer. Well, they're cool because they're always neutral too. They're always like a neutral place where the rest of the world is always crazy and fighting. Switzerland's sort of just neutral. We're doing what we're doing. So maybe that's where you
Yeah.
get it from. Hey, I'm doing what I'm doing. Everybody else can do what they're doing, but I'm doing what I'm doing. Maybe it's a Swiss thing.
Huh.
A
Uh-huh. I
lot of
have
people can
no
learn from
idea.
it. They can learn from it.
Well,
You're going to be a
we
motivational speaker one of these days too, probably.
well, I'm gonna see what the future holds.
Right, exactly. You got a lot of good stuff already in progress, a lot of stuff that
Mhm.
you've already done, and a lot more coming our way. And this is really cool. We want to make mention again,
Yeah,
popoffworldwide.com.
that's my
That's the
website.
website, gang. Get the music, everything else. Also, Spotify and all the usual places. And of course,
It's all
got
linked on there, yeah.
all linked on there. And you also have good following on Instagram, too, huh?
Yeah, I'm building my Instagram. I think it's it's good. for other people, I want a lot. So for me, that's all right.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have very big plans, and
Yeah.
of course everyone does. What sort of quote is that? I have big plans.
Yeah.
Everyone does, but I
Yeah.
actually act on it.
But you're implementing them, right? Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
difference. We can all have dreams, but if you don't follow your dreams and initiate them and act on them, they just stay dreams. So
Yeah.
it's really cool stuff, Julian. This was an awesome
Thanks.
conversation. Yeah,
Thank you, man.
we chatted about an hour and 10 minutes. Didn't even
Yeah.
seem like that, right?
Yeah, time goes by.
Yeah,
I like what we talked about. It was a really nice talk, and you're a good host.
I appreciate
Great
that.
host.
Thank you. I
Nice.
guess I picked the right career, right?
Yeah.
I like learning from people, all kinds of people, and what drives them, what motivates them. And with this series, this entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series, we try to make it conversational, easy, free flowing. You had no idea what questions I was going to ask. I mean, it wasn't scripted. It was just as opposed to a typical interview. It was a good conversation, which I think people really resonate with more anyway these days. Is a good conversation. They learn more about you and what your heart and soul is talking about, all the music, the cool things that you're doing, how you got from point A to point B, which was big for you coming over to the States, and some of the cool stuff you have coming up. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, my friend, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
I was expecting exactly that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
There's some good word on the street.
I like to prepare myself.
You watched other episodes
whenever I can. Yeah, I did. Click through it a little bit, but essentially, life throws at you whatever it will because you cannot control that. Which is contradictory to what I'm saying about manifestation because you can essentially control it, not everything. So.
But if a tsunami is coming towards you, get out of its way. You can't control it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. This was an awesome conversation.
Amazing.
Let's definitely stay in touch, my friend. We'll have you back. We'll keep that light on for you.
Good.
You're welcome back, as you have new announcements, other cool things you're excited about, you want to share on the Jim Masters show.
That'd be great.
Spread the word about our show. Let everybody know. It takes a village, as we all know, and really appreciate that. And best of luck, my friend, on everything.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the talk, and I wish you a very nice day on the East Coast.
Thank you very much. You could be a radio DJ on like an R&B station. And coming up next, we got some Luther Vandross.
Why not,
Why not, right? You could do that on the side, right? Everybody has a side hustle.
I can do that in 10 years or so.
In 10 years, do some voiceover work. That's cool. All right, my friend, you be well, and let's stay in touch, and you're welcome back anytime, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, good luck with everything, all right?
With you as well, of course,
What would be a Swiss greeting, like a farewell or see you later?
Swiss German is funny, dude. Mach's gut, schöne.
Cool. Which means take it easy or see you later.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. See, gang, you always learn something on this show. And from an expert. All right, Julian. You be well, my friend, and take care and cheers, okay?
Have a good one.
You too.
Have a really nice day. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Isn't he great? Rock, pop artist, singer, multi-instrumentalist, producer, songwriter, Julian Popoff, originally from Switzerland, coming to us from Los Angeles, California, actually from his home studio exclusively here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Gang, if you missed any of this, you'd like to see it again, you can see it right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Matter of fact, while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is really, really cool when you do that, because then it gives you access to everything. Plus, you're a part of the JMS Loverty family. Hit that red button, subscribe. There's no cost for that. And click that notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes. And also, don't forget to click like on this episode and all the episodes you enjoy. And don't forget to leave a comment on the YouTube channel as well. It's really important because the YouTube algorithm loves that, and so do we, and we appreciate that. Here's the website again for Popoff, for Julian, popoffworldwide.com. You can go to Popoff Worldwide as well on Instagram. He's on Spotify. All the music is out there. It's all available, and he's got lots more coming. It was really cool, to have him on the show. He's got a lot of things coming his way, and his perspective is really awesome, isn't it? He really has a lot of cool ways of thinking. He's like an old soul in many ways. You know what I mean? He's thinking ahead, and he's doing things for a certain reason with manifesting, and I think that's really cool. You don't hear that all the time these days. Putting out a ton of music, doing it his way, loving what he's doing, and connecting with everybody through the music with the message. I think that's really cool. Right here on the Jim Masters Show. Gang, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know. Leave a comment on the YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, like, and spread the word about our show. If you want to binge watch any of the episodes, you can see over 750 of them right here on our YouTube channel. That's Jim Masters TV. And share the lovity, as we say. Thanks for all the great comments, everybody that comments during the show as well. We appreciate and love all of you. And for everybody watching around the world, I am your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later, sláinte, cheers, shalom, sayonara, hasta la vista, moi loop, which we know in African means walk well. And take care. And don't forget to love one another, take care of one another, and make sure you take care of yourself. Very important to do. We say that all the time. You be well. Thanks for tuning into this episode. We'll see you on the next one right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Be well, everybody. Take care and cheers.